I'm talking about existential questions. Individuals will find it very difficult to let the community create the platform for meaning making. It's a challenge for us. But I believe we have to call the baby by its name. I mean, communal sanctity means a communal dialogue.
So that's the definition if you were forced to make one?
It's my definition, and you are welcome to dialogue with me and suggest your own, and I'll be more than happy to hear, and if needs be, I'll change my view. What I gave you is my definition, not a communal definition. It's a definition that I would like to bring into the table and have other Jews dialogue with me over it. But what I cannot accept is a dialogue that has no commitment on its part. In other words, I come, I say, and I go and continue. If you and I want to have a meaningful dialogue, you have to commit to me, I have to commit to you. As a Jew. That's communal sanctity.
I think that's part of where the struggle comes into having pluralism, is because some groups of Jews will say, I have committed myself so deeply to learning and understanding everything I can possibly can about this, and that I will come to a dialogue with you about it if you make that commitment too. But they find, like, I'm not going to have a dialogue. I'm not going to spend my time with someone that's decided this morning to read one sentence and come argue with me, and they haven't committed themselves. But show me your commitment, and I'll sit down and talk to you. But that's not what happens, and that's why there's so much disconnect between.
You'll be amazed how many Jews would love to have you as a dialogue partner. And this is one of the things I tell people all over the world. When I hear what you said many, many times in different constellations, say, Zohar, there's so many people who do not even see me as a Jew, they will never sit with dialogue with me, they hate me, those Orthodox guys. Hey guys, there are enough Jews.
But I'm not even saying that. I'm saying that person saying that, they are making a commitment. They are saying, I actually want to sit with you. I want to sit with you more than once. I want to sit and talk and really, I want to think about this. But people, like, I'm saying some Jews will say they don't want to talk to a person because they aren't saying that to them. They aren't coming to them and saying, I really want to have a real dialogue. There's some people that are just coming and they really spent, like, they woke up one morning and decided to sit, like, have a point of view about something and shout it out to someone, and that isn't a dialogue. So I'm saying that's why some people will say, I don't want to have a dialogue.
Find
that's
those.
all you're coming to me with.
Find the circles with whom you can come into a dialogue,
Yeah.
because those you cannot come into a dialogue will not change for you. They will not change for you. Something else may change them. But there is enough work in the Jewish world for each and every one of us to create dialogues until the end of our lives.
Let's go and do.
Exactly. Biduk. Let's do it. And by the way, that's exactly what we're doing right now, unless you're not feeling what is happening here. But that's precisely the process. Put things on the table and have the guts to first of all, to continue and make meaningful decisions about your life. And by the way, I hope you listen to me very carefully. I never said anything about religion. A lot of people say when you say making serious decisions about our life, it's probably I need to become more for myself. I never talked about religious life. I never talked about what you perceive as religion. I just talked about making, and you'll be surprised at how many profound decisions you can make without, we are informed by so much preconceived assumptions about Judaism that we are scared to take the first step. And there is much more leeway than we believe. And once we enter, we see it's much richer, it's much more complex, and it wants to hear your voice. That's the most important lesson I want to give you today. It yearns for your voice. It doesn't want to shut you up, it wants to hear you. Unfortunately, there's so many Jews who really think that there is no interested Judaism on the other side. That tradition has been shaped by those big rabbis. Moshe Waldox from Boston calls them the big rabbi who says no. Yeah, how they perceive them. They don't say no. So many of us shut their eyes to see that the Jewish texts call us to come in. We along the line, because of our own ignorance, So many secular Jews in Israel say, oh, the religious people, they have monopoly over religion. And look, they say, what the hell are you talking about? Is there anybody in this country who doesn't allow you to open a Torah, a midrash? There are batei midrashot more than there are coffee shops in Tel Aviv. What are you talking about? Admit it for yourself. You're an ignorant fool, and you want to remain an ignorant fool, and you're lazy. Why are you blaming the Orthodox guy in Jerusalem? Has he stopped you? Is there anybody in this country who will stop you from opening a book and read? What the hell are you talking about? Look yourself in the mirror, say I'm a fat, lazy bastard, and then we'll start talking. Then I'll open and invite you, and let's start learning. Let's see if somebody stops you, if somebody has a monopoly over Judaism. Excuses over excuses over excuses. You know what? We're not even original with those excuses. They've been there for hundreds of years. They've been there.
How can't anyone be a Jew?
What?
How can't anyone be a Jew?
What do you mean can't?
What?
How can someone
And you
not?
drop out of the club.
No, but how?
No, you don't, guys. I don't care about how you define yourselves. I'm talking about how we live here. You can come and say, Zohar, according everything you said is beautiful. You know, according to Halacha, you were born to a Jewish mother. End of story. What, you're going to tell me I'm not Jewish? I'm not telling people if they're Jewish or not. I don't care about this stuff. What I'm saying is that there is a difference between being alive as a Jew, by definition, and living Jewishly. It's just like there's a difference between breathing and living. Everybody who breathes doesn't necessarily live. I'm talking about the meaning of Jewish life. I'm not talking about being, oh, you think I care about the definition? I don't care about the definition. Call yourself whatever you want. But I'm trying to show you that the idea of meaning making in Jewish life is the symbiosis between this notion of accepting who you are and accepting the awesome responsibility that comes with that understanding, and then affording that awesome responsibility and status to other Jews.
What is that awesome responsibility? How are you defining that awesome responsibility?
To become an active voice that determines what is the trajectory of Judaism in the present and the future.
So to get involved.
Not just to get involved, to change your life. What do you mean to get involved? What? To contribute for Hanukkah? What is get involved? I'm talking about becoming a Jew in a way that you feel comfortable with, but not comfortable because you're lazy. A comfort that comes from knowledge. I'm not talking about religion. If you want religion, the religious aspect, the ritual aspect, by all means. I will be the last one who stops you. I'm talking about changing your life in a way that makes you a fuller member of the Jewish community, a fuller contributor.
Judaism, not in terms of religion.
I mean, guys, if you heard anything from what I talked about, all
So maybe ritual.
no, religion is an element of the Jewish way of life. It's not. It's Judaism is not a religion.
No, you're saying
Judaism has a religious component in it. Let me show you. Look, my dear, we're at the year 2010. We're reading texts that were written 1700 years ago, in the past, right? And the reason we are in dialogue with that past, or at least in an enriched monologue in our own mind, because they're not giving us an answer, but they definitely helped us open a fantastic question, is because this past, 1700 years ago, these people, yeah, they contributed something to the evolution of Judaism. Now let me tell you, one day in the future, all of us, you included, are going to become Judaism's past. Whether you like it or not. One day in the future, we're going to become Judaism's past. And the question of what kind of a past you want to be in the future is a question for the present.
I'm not going to say that again.
It's recorded right here. Okay? The question of what kind of a past you want to be in the future is a question of the present.
An absent past or an active.
Exactly. Do you want to become a voice in that past, or do you want to submerge into obscurity because of your lack of commitment? The choice is completely yours. Do you want to put a thumbprint? What do people do today? They get Jewish tradition. They study in Sunday school, Hebrew school. They take it, the tradition, immediately pass it to our children. Every Shabbat, you hear the same sermon by the same rabbi. We have to pass the tradition to our children. It is our children say that in the future, the Jewish continuity. What the hell do you want to continue? What is it you want to continue that is so important to you?
Lighting Hanukkah candles? Or?
What? Take tradition, which was passed to you by the past, take a breath, play with it a little, engage in the traditioning process. Become part of that tradition and pass it to the future with your own imprint. You are part of that. Why do you just pass? Play. It's your life. Why do you talk about our children all the time? Let's talk about us. We became a bunch of ignoramus. We don't know anything. And then we teach our children, and they're not stupid. They see this dry tree. Why am I to be interested in this?
We aren't even the ones teaching our children. We've put the teaching into somebody else.
Even that, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just giving us now the very, very broad strokes. Let's not get into the higher resolution here. But the problem is, we forgot somewhere along the line that Judaism, the tradition, is an evolving process of which we are part. And we have to put our thumb, our print, into that tradition. That's what I said. One day in the future, you'll be someone's past. Do you want to be present in that past or not? Do you want to be submerged in someone else's words from 1700 years ago? You know what I suggest to headmasters of schools? Say you have a school, a Jewish school. I hope to God you don't call it religious school. The Jewish school, right? You teach Judaism there, not only religion. And you have a book, you have a library. Are there any books written by your own students in that library? Next to Ashi, next to Maimonides? You had a class of Bible studies all year. They answered to profound questions. Did you ask them to write them down, put them in a book and wrote it, The Wisdom of Our Students, instead of just the ethics of our fathers?